I'm 8:39 here. We're at 21 before 9 and 46 degrees. We're looking for a high around the 72-degree mark today as far as highs on Wall Street. You might need to wait a couple of weeks on that. We'll find out as the day progresses. Let's go downtown and see what's happening in the wake of the Georgia elections and some economic information. As we always do, Statler Financial Services' very own Phillip Statler is on the line. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Dave. Hey, doing well today. Not so sure how the markets are going to fare today, though.
I'm not 100% sure what to think of this because the blue chips are actually steady to up by a little bit. NASDAQ's getting hammered, and the 500 Standard & Poor's is, down, but not disastrously. Set the table after the Georgia elections yesterday. The three indexes kind of ignored the polls as much as anything. Dow had a banner day, up 168 points. NASDAQ up 120. Standard & Poor's went up by 26, and then the polls came in from Georgia, and a whole lot of investors, I get the feeling, kind of said, I'm going to change a few positions, and I'm going to do it fast.
Yeah, definitely. There's some trading going on, especially in the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is getting hammered this morning, though it is a little better now than what it was at 4 o'clock this morning when I looked. But still, nonetheless, it's getting hammered, and I suspect that it will continue to get hammered today.
Yeah, you got to keep in mind something that we've been talking about now for eons as we talk through the election cycle all the way through the last year, that money simply looks for other places where it can make money. So the result of the Georgia election doesn't affect the fact that people still need to figure out how to make money. But the stocks they're going to choose, with the likelihood of Democrats controlling the Senate as well, that's going to be a slight change in which their investment strategies are going to go, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. The who's in the White House, whether or not they have all three departments of Congress and the White House, whether they have the whole kit and caboodle or whether it's a split Congress, will definitely impact on what stocks you want to hold this year.
Absolutely. I mean, among the things that look more likely with the Democratic likely control of the Senate is probably alterations on the corporate income tax structure and probably a return to a little bit more confiscatory capital gain structure. And that does change the investment strategies for the guys that throw big money around.
It definitely does. You start playing with the capital gains rates, and that will, and the corporate tax rates too, that will definitely put some pressure on the marketplace.
Absolutely, and especially in some specific stocks. And we're starting to see the weird changes going on even as we go now. NASDAQ just absolutely getting hammered, but the blue chips are relatively holding their own on the Dow. Find out what happens when the real money gets thrown around. Adding another fly into that ointment, the monthly ADP report comes out this morning. They do that the first Wednesday of the month as to what it looked like the month before. Market was expecting a gain in private sector employment last month. I had 88, you had less than that, but neither way, ADP says we actually lost 123,000 jobs last month, and that's got to make some investors go, holy crud.
Well, I think it definitely, is going to catch the eye of folks. And let's remember, sometimes that doesn't really match up with the report we get tomorrow on the unemployment front. From the Fed side, but still, it's an indication of private payrolls, and a lot of it came from big companies shedding jobs, especially in the restaurant, entertainment industries, getting hurt again by states like California that's closing everything down, and we continue to see that. But this is the first decline in the ADP number since April, so we've had positive gains every month since April, and so this is the first month we're giving back some jobs.
Yeah, when we see a really weird ADP report, it always helps to say that ADP has a tendency to be accurate as far as direction, but in terms of quantity, the odds are the government report that we get tomorrow and then the final one for the month on Friday may very well not show the monster difference between what's expected and what we get.
Well, that's true. Yeah, they don't always match up. But it does usually show a direction, though sometimes that direction is not right either. But I would anticipate when we look at the number on Friday that we're going to see a decline similar to this, as you and I have kind of been talking about anyway.
It does kind of look like we're going to see at least a decline of some sort, without a doubt. I'm seeing some interesting changes on the bond rates that once again indicate some shifting going on. The bond rates right now are going up considerably. 30-year Treasury notes are up by like 12 basis points this morning. The 10-year Treasury notes are up by 9 basis points this morning. I'm not sure what to make of that because they're liquidating, they're basically liquidating bonds and making shifts into other stocks this morning, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it is. I mean, this is the first time we've been over 1% and in quite some time. I think it was like March or April last year that we were back over 1%. So that's a huge deal. But you're right. It does signify that there's a move from bonds back into stocks. The only thing I can think of is if there is some stocks that maybe favor what people are anticipating happening in DC. And so they're moving out of bonds and into some of those stocks that probably have been beat up over the last couple of years.
I found it kind of interesting, as I would have expected to have people parking money to see what happens as time goes on. But it looks like investors are making the other decision. They're moving money into just different categories instead of just parking it for a couple of days to watch and see what happens.
Yeah, the other thing that tells me, Dave, is that they think it's done, and that's they may see the writing on the wall and going ahead and making a move early in hopes that they're right and getting a little extra bump on the positions that they're picking up.
That might very well be, because one thing for sure, if your capital gains rate is going up, you don't need to worry about that much in the bond market these days.
Oh, well, no, you don't.
Ain't nobody gaining nothing in the bond market by comparison these days. So it's going to be an interesting day, and something that even the experts are going to have trouble predicting this morning. Add on to that some not such hot economic news. You got anybody that's had any quarterly reports to give us any indication?
I do have one that came out overnight. We got Cal-Maine Foods, and they are the nation's largest egg producer. And they made 25 cents a share, which was quite a bit better than the 8 cents loss that they were expected to have. They were a benefactor of the coronavirus because more people are staying at home, more people cooking, trying to experiment with different recipes, so more egg use through that process. And so they got a nice bump today, up 7.3% so far this morning, which is a pretty nice bump for them.
There's a way to make money no matter what the economy looks like, isn't there?
Yeah. Depending on the industry and the company you're with.
You can always sell eggs, I guess. Looking at the markets again, it's a topsy-turvy morning. Up day yesterday on Wall Street, then the election results, and then the unemployment report. And what's going to happen over the day today, we don't know, but early morning indications look, well, let's just say interesting. 45 minutes early, what are we doing this morning, Phillip?
Dave, we got a kind of a split house this morning. We got the Dow actually up in positive territory by about $36, a little over 0.1%. The S&P 500 is down about 1/3% now. And the big dive this morning is coming from the NASDAQ, down a little over 1.5% this morning. Even the small cap, Russell 2000, is getting a nice bump this morning. They're up 2.25%.
Really?
So, yeah, they're getting a nice little bump this morning. So
I hadn't seen that one yet this morning. That surprises me a lot.
Me too. And then on the commodity side, we've got gold and silver giving back some. We got silver down 0.75%, gold down almost 1% this morning. Crude oil is bouncing between the very high 49s and the very low 50s a barrel. So right now, at this very second, it's up 1/3% to $50.10 a barrel.
Wow, that's a surprise too. Again, all the expectations and conventional wisdom for the last couple of years has gone completely out the window. Overseas markets, mixed bag in Asia, no great movement either side of the zero line. Over in Europe, they evidently don't mind what they're seeing over there. British markets are up by 3 full percent this morning. They're having a party. German markets up by about a full percentage point as well midway through their day. Philip, this is one of those times where controlling one's risk really matters a lot, but finding the right amount in the right places, that takes an expert. How do I find you to get a little bit of advice in that direction?
You know, Dave, right now is the first of the year. It's a great time for people to take a look at their portfolio, get a second opinion to make sure that they don't have too much risk. That's why we developed the Financial X-ray. All they have to do is give us a call at 863-382-0037 to schedule their time to go through that process. They can follow us on Facebook at Statler Financial Services, and then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730.
Alrighty, and back here again tomorrow morning with up-to-the-minute stuff on Light FM. Phillip, thank you so much, and we will catch you tomorrow, all right?
All right, man. You have a great day.
Be well. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Hey, folks, again, I want to thank you for joining us today. I hope your new year is off to a great start. A lot of stuff going on, both political, economical. Stay tuned tomorrow as we come back with more information. Have a great day. I look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Bye now.